Akamhan, iniitaas mi ang samong mga puso sa pagpasalamat huli kan mga ngangalasan kan sa imong linalang. Huli kan sa imong pangataman sa pagtao mo kan sa mong mga pangangaipo digdi sa daga. Asin huli kan sa imong kadunungan na nag-aantabay kan lakaw kam bilog na kinaban. Inaako mi na nagkasala kami sa imo asin sa kapalibutan. Day kami naging marhay na paraataman kan sa imong linalang. Day mi nasabutan asin nautob ang sa imong kabutan na tamanon ang kinaban. Ang kapalibutan nagsasakit hulikan sa mong mga salanggibo. Asingunyan namamatean mina ang padusang balik kan sa mong pag-abuso asing kapabayaan. Padagos ang labi-labing pag-init kang kinaban. Huli ka ini, naglalawig ang tig-initan, nagdadakol asin nagkukusog ang mga bagyo. Uran, baha, pagtuga kang bulkan, asin iba pang mga natural na kalamidad. Dai kaming mabibirikan, kundi ka, mamumuto nama. So sa imo kami minahagad, ning kapatawaran kan samong mga kasalan. Ilikay mo kami ang samong mga namumutan asin mga pagrugaring sa peligro nin mga kalamidad, natural man o kagibuhan nin tao. Antabayan mo kaming magtalubo na maging mga responsableng paraataman kan sa imong linalang, asin mga matinabang na parasurog kang kapwang nangangaipo. Huli ki Kristo sa mong kagurangan. Nuestra Señora de Salvación, ipamibi mo kami. Nuestra Señora de Salvación, ipamibi mo kami. Nuestra Señora de Salvación, danay na ipamibi mo kami.
Patuloy ang magbibigay serbisyo para sa mga kapitbahay. Maghahatid ng mga mainit na balita at impormasyon. Mga detalye program para sa inyo lahat. Ito po ang Mayong Internet TV. Ang iyong kapitbahay.
Makikwentuhan kay Anessa Pano sa kanyang programang Chitchat with Anessa. Chitchat with Anessa. Dito lang sa Mayong Internet TV. Ang kapitbahay nyo. Chitchat with Anessa.
Good morning mga kapitbahay. Happy Valentine's Day! It's maulan na umaga, maulan na Martes po sa inyong lahat. And I'm sure nag-uumapaw din kasing lakas ng ulan sa labas yung pag-ibig nyo sa lahat, no? Sa kaibigan, sa pamilya, and lalong-lalo na sa inyong minamahal. Yan, welcome to Tuesday edition of Chitchat with Anessa. Of course, all about love since it's Valentine's Day. And say hello to, of course, my Ate Jo Rocco of Zagitsit. Thank you for watching. And of course, my fellow Armor family. Happy Valentine's, Ate Jo. I-date mo ba ako? And of course, happy Valentine's to my better half, all the way from miles away from me. Happy Valentine's, sweetheart. And of course, to Mom. Yan. And we will be talking, does love makes you a whole? You know, the principles of whole love. It's actually a humanistic guide for cultivating growth and wholeness in your relationship. In our relationship, we must understand love. So must be able to teach, to create it, you know, and to predict it, or else the world is lost to hostility and suspicion. Yun nga ang sabi ni according to my research, Abraham Maslow, you know, the psychology of being. So we will be talking this morning, since it's diba, Love Month tayo, and today specifically is a Happy Valentine's Day. Why you will marry the wrong person? O diba, parang kind of complicated, pero ang sabi naman ng philosopher Alain de Botton noted that choosing whom to commit ourselves to is merely a case of identifying which particular variety of suffering we would most like to sacrifice ourselves for. So, there is surely some truth about it. Of course, due to the narratives and unrealistic expectations that society holds. Diba? Society holds about mga romantic love. So we enter relationships. We enter relationship with the ideas that are destined to lead to disappointment and resentment. So we believe there is one right person, but there's one right person out there for us, you know, and we expect that partner to be as our everything. So ganun naman palagi yun, di ba? So we expect them to sinasabing satiate. We expect them to satiate our insatiable sex drive, satisfy our needs for belonging, alam mo yon, and quell our deepest existential feelings of despair. So, sabi ni Alain de Botton, that it is really quite right that romantic love doesn't have to be perfect. By forgiving our own foibles, diba, as well as accommodating those of our partner, we connect with our common humanity and foster growth in ourselves and our partner. O, diba? Tama ba? Hi, Christine Lota, good morning. So, yes, happy Valentine's. To all my viewers, happy Valentine's. So, even so, sabi nga, diba? Even so, certainly we really strive for more than choosing how we would most like to suffer in our love relationships. So we strive toward a richer, deeper, more meaningful, and more transcendent experience of love. In motivation and personality, the humanistic psychologist si Abraham Maslow, sabi niya nga, meron siyang isinulat, it's actually a chapter titled that Love and Self-Actualizing People, in which, sabi niya, he notes that self-actualizing love shows many of the characteristic of self-actualization, no, in general. So it's actually in general. So using that chapter as a springboard na sinasabi. So I will draw on the latest scientific findings of love and attachment, and outline 10 features of what I refer to as a whole love. There is really such thing as whole love, 'di ba? So para kay Abraham Maslow, sabi niya, I define whole love as an enduring love relationship that is continually in a state of growth, health, and development. Dapat gano'n naman talaga, di ba? Di ba pag happy tayo with our love, it is really something to do with our well-being, that it shows that we're happy, and of course, aside from it, so meaning if we're happy and we're at peace, so it has something really to do with our mental health, kasi less worries tayo if syempre our partner is faithful, loyal, o diba? Tama ba, Lorelie? Happy Valentine's Day po, watching from Laguna. Hi, Lorelie, and all the way from, saan ka ba sa Laguna? So, thank you for watching, all of those in Laguna. So, sabi ni Abraham Maslow, note that this, sasabihin niya, itong mga ideas niya, is merely a template of an idea. Template of an idea. Sabi niya, I personally do not know anyone who shows all of these characteristics. Nevertheless, I think this template for whole love offers a realistic yet still transcendent, North Star, having a North Star in which to point the love compass. Oh, diba? Isn't that great? Also, well, the focus here, syempre, since it's Valentine's, our focus is all about romantic relationships. So, diba? So, and of course, and syempre, as well as integrations of the sex and love. So, many of these characteristics could apply to any loving relationship that one has in their lives. So I fully acknowledge that some people have multiple intimate romantic relationships, di ba? So and that some people embrace the single life. PCADG Bicol Region. Good morning po, Ate Anessa, watching po from Regional Police Community Affairs and Development Unit 5 Camp. Hi! Say hello to Regional Police Community Affairs and Development Unit 5. Of course, Camp Brigadier General Simeon Ola in Legazpi City. And hi, sir! Magpakilala naman. And of course, say hello to Ma'am Garcia. Tama ba? Yan, yung ating group from Regional Police Community Affairs and Development Unit. Happy Valentine's sa inyo dyan! So, sir, interact ka dito sa aking topic. Is love really, there is such thing ba as a whole love? So continuing to our topic. Therefore, I'd like to emphasize, I would like to emphasize that it's not the status of being in a romantic relationship that signifies whole love. So it's the quality of the connection that is a critical variable na sinasabi. So, I hope that these principles in this humanistic guide can help you in a journey to have more health, growth, and developing all your loving relationships in your life, di ba? Pinakauna na dyan, openness. Let us open ourselves to love. Openness to love na sinasabi. Is it true? It is true of our self actualizing people that they what now love and are loved, so they have the power. Sabi nga, 'di ba, they have the power to love. They have the power to love and the ability to be loved, 'di ba? And always remember that the most essential aspect of whole love is being open to love. The most essential aspect of whole love is being open to love. So whole love is open, receptive, ano pa ba? And good-natured. Good-natured, both giving and receiving love are equally as important in whole love. Of course, being open to love doesn't guarantee that love will what? That love will be received. Diba? It does not, but it does not help. It doesn't help to create the possibility. Sabi nga, 'di ba? Love and will. 'Di ba? Have you read the book Love and Will? By si Rollo May ang author nun ng Love and Will. We cannot will love, but we can will open to ourselves to the chance. We can conceive of the possibility, which sets the wills in motion. O, di ba? Napaka malalim. And two central drivers of openness to love are trust and love of cynicism. The opposite of openness to love. What is the opposite of openness to love? Sige nga. Of course, avoidance. Avoidance of love. Research shows that those with an avoidant attachment style, they are lacking what? They lack trust. And are extremely cynical about love. Ito siguro yung mga taong may magagandang experience, 'di ba? So, yan yung mga taong medyo natatakot. 'Di ba? Sabi nga ni Julie Rothbard and Philip Shaver summarize it that the attachment view by noting that it would be expected that secure adults view others as trustworthy and dependable, no? Avoidant adults na sinasabi would be expected to view others as generally untrustworthy and undependable. So, in relationship, as they're threatening to one's sense of control, not worth the effort, or both. So, ito yung those who are in avoidant, aspect. If there are people who are open to love, there are also those who are avoidant, no? In fact, in one study that securely attached individuals secured highest on trust in loving relationships. So whereas yung mga avoidants displayed fear of closeness and what? Intimacy. Kasi once you get intimate, it's nowhere to yung siguro yung chance to escape, 'di ba? So, ang tendency, you are just, being into it. But securely attached lovers were most likely to agree. We're most likely to agree that in some relationships, romantic love never fades. Whereas, avoidant lovers were most likely to say that the kind of head over heels romantic love depicted in novels and movies does not exist in real life. Napaka-negative, di ba? Good thing ako, no? Just to share. Even though syempre, how many times ka na rin na broken-hearted, pero for me, love is the wonderful thing, wonderful feeling in this world, no? Sayang naman ang ganda ko kung walang magmamahal, di ba? So ngayon, talagang meron na. 'Di ba? Romantic love seldom lasts, sabi ng mga, 'di ba? And it is rare to find a person that one can really fall in love with. 'Di ba? 'Yun ang mga napaka-negative naman ng mga avoidant, those who are in the avoidant, 'di ba? In another study, sabi nga, we are talking about avoidant because merely if you want a whole love, yung isa sa pinaka-aspect nga, being open. That is why we are trying to explain, openness to love na ika nga. In another study, sabi daw, avoidant participants were found to not only view potential partners as untrustworthy, but were also generally suspicious of human nature and motives in general. O, di ba? Mahalin muna siguro nila yung mga sarili nila. Kasi they really not finding peacefulness. Kasi the fact that duda ka, everything is really bothering you. Tapos, andyan na. Tapos, kokontrahin mo pa merely because hindi ka duda ka sa, 'di ba? Sa the fact that you don't give your trust that much. So meaning they're not at peace with themselves. So siguro talaga kailangan yung unahin muna nila yung sarili nila. Securely attached individuals showed the opposite, 'di ba? The opposite pattern. And we're more likely to view people as generally well-intentioned and good-hearted. So, it may very well be that avoidance of love is an evolutionary strategy. Evolutionary strategy. Nature rational response, to the unavailability of trusted others in one's environment. Diba? Indeed, there is evidence that the drive for sex without love emerge in unstoppable reproductive environments. Where there is a little assurance that the partner will stick around or even survive due to environmental instability and or violence. 'Di ba? So even so yung mga ating even so with our patterns, regardless of the triggers, 'di ba? Yung need not define us. So we can be more than our evolutionary instincts. And in our loving relationships, we can fully transcend, na sinasabi, the urge for what? Avoidance. So anyone can gain, no, the riches of whole love by what? By learning into love and by opening ourselves to the sorrows and pains of romantic love. We also open ourselves to the joys and the opportunities to growth. Huwag tayong matakot, no? Let's just be open to love. Kasi parang ano lang naman yan eh. 'Di ba? It's just merely like this na parang you wanted something but you're afraid. So, kailangan we need to know how to take a rest para alam natin, no? Take a rest and work on to be better. Take a rest to and work for work it out na maging maganda yung relationship. No? Ganun lang naman yan. Sa lahat ng bagay naman, 'di ba? We have rest. So with love. Gusto mo na and then meron kang mga apprehensions. How will you be able to feel the happiness kung hindi ka marunong makipaglaban? Oh, 'di ba? Wow! Masyado naman akong atang in love. Pangalawa, love is the center. No description, no words ever communicate that full quality of the love experience to one who has himself never felt or never felt it. So it consists primarily of a feeling of tenderness and affection with great enjoyment, of course, happiness, satisfaction, ano pa ba, name it, elation, and even ecstasy and experiencing this love, you know? Syempre, if all is going well, so ito talaga ma-experience mo yan. So, there is actually a tendency to what? To want to get closer, to come into more intimacy contact, to touch and embrace the loved person, to yearn for them, you know. Quite characteristics is the feeling of generosity, of wanting to give and to please. 'Di ba? In fact, the center of whole love is to love, you know. The center of whole love is love, you know. Without love, 'di ba? Whole love disintegrates. Without love, whole love disintegrates, you know, for the essential feature of love and is says na sinasabi. You can find in the book Love and Will define cares a state in which something does matter. So care defined as a state in which something that matters. Care is the opposite of what? Apathy. You know? Care is the what? Necessary source of eros, the source of human tenderness. Likewise, in the art of loving, the humanistic psychologist Erich Fromm writes that genuine love is the expression of productiveness and implies care, respect, responsibility, and knowledge. It's not an affect in the sense of being affected by somebody, you know, but an active striving for the growth and happiness of the loved person, rooted in one's own capacity for love. With love and care, whole love grows. Yung sinasabi, no? Love is the center upon and which, you know, in which, sabi nga, love is the center upon in which the rest of the elements orbit. and contribute to the growth of the relationship. So to be sure, the other elements of romantic love is what? Attachment, caretaking, 'di ba? Lust, and romantic passion. Often attempt to bend love to it its will, no? Uh, for they have for they each have their own biological goals. However, yung sinasabi, love is the best when free to grow. Love is the best when free to grow. Insecure attachment, manic romanticism, hyperlust, and extreme sensitivity to rejection all warp whole love. You know, whole love is at its best when the rest of the elements help grow love, rather than other elements desperately clinging to or avoiding love. Yan po ang pakatandaan natin. The central features of romantic love is also a central feature of humanity. In a study of 37 societies, men and women ranked love or mutual attractions as the first criterion for choosing a spouse. Without this mutuality, the mutuality of caring, without a stance in the direction to the exclusion of a stance in another direction, one cannot grow love because there's no movement, stagnant lang. 'Di ba? So sabi nga ni Rollo May in Love and Will, end means a tendency. So, an inclination, a throwing of one's weight on a given side, a movement, and also a mind to attend, to await, to show what? Solicitude for. So, in this sense, it is the what? Source of both love and will. Ano pa ba? 'Di ba kanina nagbigay na ako openness to love. Tapos pangalawa, love is the center. Ngayon naman, greater taste and perceptiveness. The perception of healthy people are more efficient, more acute when in love than when not. No, love may make it possible to see qualities in the loved person of which those are completely oblivious. Tapos, when it comes to attraction in romantic relationships, especially in the early stages, the passion and lust, LUST, systems can lead to all sorts of distortions in perception. Whenever there is a narrowing of attention, it is more difficult to see. The totality of a person, and to see the reality for their being. For instance, when the last system is overactivated, we may focus on what? We may focus on the superficial aspects of a person, ignoring the whole person. No? Remember that whole love is involved a widening of attention and a greater efficiency in seeing the reality of a partner more clearly. Attraction in whole love is typically based on what? Typically based on the deeper aspects of the person, such as what? Kindness. Pinakauna dyan, kindness, courage, honesty, and sincerity. Rather than more superficial of the aspects of the person, such as physical beauty. You know, this does not mean that physical attraction is absent. On the contrary naman, witnessing positive qualities to the other person often leads to an increase in physical attraction. Additionally, we can use word the diversity. Diversity is embraced in whole love. Yes, strangeness is not threatening. And there is a greater openness to being attracted to those who are to those who are actually very different. I made a face, may nakita ko sa screen. This may include different income, social status, education, religion, appearance, and etc. Thus, physical imperfections as well as economic, educational, and social shortcomings are far less important to healthy people than our character defects. 'Di ba? As a consequence, it is easily possible for self-actualizing people to fall deeply in love while homely partners. This is called blindness by others, but it might much better too called good taste or perceptiveness. 'Di ba? Ano yung pang-apat? Love as end experience. Actually, there is so much to talk about in the psychology or the psychological literature of rewards and purpose. Or rather, rewards and purposes of reinforcement and gratifications. And not nearly enough of what we may call the end experience, as actually contrasted with the means experience, no? Or before the beautiful that is its own reward. Love seeks no cost beyond itself and no limit, no? It is its own fruit, its own enjoyment, I love because I love. I love in order that I may love. Nakukuha nyo? I love in order that I may love. I love because I love. Diba? A key characteristics of love, of whole love, is like lack of striving. A spontaneous admiration is an admiration asked for nothing and gets nothing. It's purposeless and useless. Nevertheless, admiration, ika nga, frequently leads to pleasure, naturally and spontaneously. Maslow compared this experience to the eager passivity with which we allow ourselves to be tumbled by waves just for the fun. That isn't it? Or perhaps better, to the impersonal interest and ode and projecting appreciation of the slowly changing sunset, there is a little that we can actually inject into a sunset. And sabi din ni Abraham Maslow, it was actually clearly influenced by yung mga Eastern philosophy. In a brief and published essay written, no, it was actually July in 1954. Maslow explicitly notes his reading of the Hindu philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti and applies the Buddhist notion of choiceness awareness to acceptance of the beloved without desiring to change or manipulate the person. The idea actually also dovetails nicely with Carl Rogers' notion of unconditional positive regard, in which a person, sabi niya, in which a person does not attempt to change another person, but instead beholds that person in their totality. Continuing the sun metaphor, which apparently was a popular one among humanistic psychologists, 'di ba? 'Yun ang sinasabi ni Carl Roger. People are just as wonderful as sunsets if you let them be. When you look at the sunset, you find yourself saying that soften the orange and a bit on the right hand corner. I don't try to control a sunset. I watch them with awe as it unfolds. 'Di ba? A key to unconditional positive regard is listening. Rogers offered his clients an active listening approach, which involves creating a climate of listening that involves equality, freedom. Hi, boss! Happy Valentine's! That looks sexy! Permissiveness, understanding, acceptance, and warmth, And as Maslow notes, you can't really perceive. We cannot really perceive the truth and be aware of reality as it is unless you put aside all your hopes, ideals, and standards. 'Di ba? And all we have to do is just listen wholeheartedly. The thing to do is to let both things and people happen. And of course, next is admiration of virtue. The sort of admiration and acceptance to the humanistic psychologist we're discussing is related to Aristotle's third type of friendship virtue na sinasabi. in his seminal book, ano yun? Yung Nicomachean Ethics. Yung Aristotle distinguished between three different types of friendship, with its utility, pleasure, and virtue. You know? Utility, pleasure, and virtue na sinasabi. Hi, Gemma Ardalas Marino. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Sa book nila, merong book kasi sila na Happy Together, using the science of positive psychology to build love that lasts. That lasts, L-A-S-T-S, no? According to Susan Pawelski and James Pawelski, a married couple who are both experts and leaders on the methods and techniques of positive psychology, extended Aristotle's ideas to the realm of romantic relationship. Consistent with love as an end experience, they argue that the highest and most transcendent loving relationship are those that are not motivated by what each person can get from the relationship. Always remember that. But rather by the goodness that each person sees in the other. So in other words, instead of expecting a relationship to make you whole, you engage in a romantic relationship so that each partner can help each other grow in healthy direction. I said it very clearly. It's just like, bringing out the best in both of you. Diba? Isn't it really good? Drawing on Jonathan Haidt's work on the emotion of elevation, Pawelski's argue that when we are uplifted or elevated, our hearts are open and our thoughts are more focused on others than ourselves. We seek ways to make positive changes to enhance our relationships, and we experience moral growth and heightened positive relations like hope and ultimately love. According to the Pawelski's, Aristotelian love is characteristic by three interrelated elements. Number one, partners love the good they see in each other. This does not mean that we expect our partners to always be perfect, or that we turn a blind eye to our partner's flaws. Instead, this involves an active, willful attempt to spot the strengths of the partner and see the potential that they don't even see themselves. Very positive. So it's accepting your partner as a whole, regardless of his or her shortcomings. And you always see the better side of your partner rather than dwelling on the not so good. Diba? All partners are also committed to support each other and supporting each other's growth and healthy, precisely because they see they see, ano yung nakikita na, the positive potentialities in the other person. This doesn't mean forcing or expecting the other person to be particular way, diba? But merely providing the secure base and support to help the partner do their own growing. A wonderful side effect, and last, a wonderful side effect of helping another person grow is inspiring yourself to become a better person. By watching the process of development and growth unfold, you realize that change is possible, you know, but also the change requires effort and patience, being loving, admiring, and patience with others often has the effect of making sure that what making us more loving, admiring, and of course patience with ourselves, creating an upward spiral of growth, health, and development. Always remember that. 'Di ba? Napakaganda ng ating discussion. So, yung aking buhok sumasabay. So, if we can cultivate, 'di ba? If we can cultivate more gratitude na sinasabi, character strength, and virtue and our loving relationship, we can have more whole love in our lives. Always remember that. 'Di ba? So, napakaganda. Andyan pa nga yung mga self-expansion na sinasabi. I'll be discussing this tomorrow. 'Di ba? Harmonious integration. Ano pa ba? Love and eros. Security versus exploration. And last, of course, detachment and individuality na sinasabi. So, kasi it's 10:02 already. Susunod na sa akin si Sir Bobby Ala sa Ala Arangkada. Of course, happy Valentine's to my family, my friends, and of course, my loved one, the Happy Valentine's Tony. And I love you. And of course, ano pa ba? Calling. Ay, Mighty Bananas! Sinhanap kayo dito sa station. No? Please lang, Mighty Bananas, and also to Auto Aid. And of course, say hello to Hazel Kwa of Asian Gold. No? Mighty Bananas, I can no longer check on your Facebook page. No? Be responsible enough po tayo sa ating mga napirmahan. Kasi, nakakaano kayo, ano ba yan? Nakakadamay kayo ng mga sibilyan. Mayos kayo. So, di ba? Say hello to my napakagwapong consultant po ng Mayon Internet TV, Buboy Enriquez. Happy birthday! Ay, happy birthday! Happy Valentine's, boss! Pinananawagan ko na ang aking mga... Di ba? So again, calling all my friends from Mighty Bananas, Julie, and Mr. Syempre, again. So, let's just be ano lang, no? Ano pa ba? And I'll see you tomorrow. Talagang naka-red kami lahat dito sa station. Of course. Yes, sexy yan. So, happy Valentine's. Even how, regardless of how small amount the gift is, ang importante, happy kayo ng loved ones mo, and those of families, you're all happy. SM! Akin na yung isa! So, again, diba, yung 1TV.net, meron silang mga pa-love. So, ano pa ba? 10:04, no? So, salamat po. And tomorrow, magdi-discuss ulit po ako sa inyo kasi napakaganda talaga nung discussions ko this morning is all about being open to whole love, no? So, sa ngalan po ng bumubuo ng Mayon Internet TV, sa pangunguna po ng aming General Manager, Happy Valentine's Boss, Gilbert Musli Orense, and our Station Manager, Mary Ann Blanco. And of course, ang IT head natin wala, nag-Valentine's din si Terence Pableo. And of course, our admin head and our IT assistant for this morning, Tin Orense. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Again, I love you all. Happy Valentine's. Bye!
Patuloy ang magbibigay serbisyo para sa mga kapitbahay. Maghahatid ng mga mainit na balita at impormasyon. Mga kalibreng programa para sa inyo lahat. Ito po ang Mayon Internet TV. Ang iyong kapitbahay.